My son just whistled at a young white woman. The friends around him instantly tensed up. The woman stormed straight toward the car, furious. The other black boys panicked and pulled him away from the scene. When my son saw the woman aiming a gun at him, he still didn't realize how serious it was. That night, 2 white men broke into my brother's house and took my son by force. When I saw him again, he was a body so mutilated I could barely recognize him. My son was born in bustling Chicago and grew up well off. I worked at an Air Force office and was the only black woman there. His father died in the war. Because he grew up without a father, I spoiled him more than I should have, never imagining my indulgence would cost him his life. That day, my son was heading to the countryside to visit his cousin. Before he left, I specifically warned him that the South was different from the North and he had to be careful around white people at all times. But he brushed it off. I watched him board the train, reluctant to let him go. I never imagined it would be the last time I saw him. After arriving in the South, my son went to a store with his cousin. The store owner was a white woman. He thought she looked a lot like a movie star.
Look like a movie star. What?
He didn't notice her discomfort at all. Luckily, his cousin showed up just in time and pulled him out of the store, but the woman followed them outside. He mistakenly thought she was interested in him, so he turned around. People around him suddenly grew tense. While my son still didn't understand what was happening, the woman had already stormed back toward the car in anger. Seeing this, everyone rushed him away from the scene. When he saw a white woman pointing a gun at him, he finally panicked. This was something he had never experienced in Chicago. At the same time, it felt like I somehow sensed something was wrong. The very next day after he left, I felt deeply uneasy and took time off work. I went to my current husband's barbershop, hoping to bring my son back, but he was too busy with work and said he could go with me in a few days. That night, someone knocked on my brother's door.
Sir?
I want that for get the talking down in money.
They forced their way inside.
You that big mouth nigga? Who are you?
Found my son and took him away. His aunt stood in the doorway apologizing over and over to the white men, but they ignored her completely. Even though my brother was filled with worry, he didn't dare to stop them. He could only watch helplessly as they forced my son into the car. The next morning, while I was still asleep, I got a call from my brother. He said my son was in trouble. I was frantic and immediately tried to get to Mississippi to find my child. Because it was so far away, with my family's help, I found the most well-connected lawyer I could. Even with all his connections, he couldn't solve the urgent situation. Even if he knew the mayor and the governor, his influence wasn't enough to launch a large-scale search. He suggested getting the story into the newspapers to draw attention. Soon, missing person flyers for my son were everywhere. Before long, the case stirred up a wave of public attention in Chicago, and it gradually spread across the country. Just when things seemed to be turning in a better direction, devastating news arrived.
Bo's body was found in a river.
I collapsed on the spot when I heard it. After pulling myself together, I went straight to the train station. To keep myself from collapsing again, I waited in a wheelchair for my son's body. When his coffin was brought out, I could no longer hold back my grief.
My boy, my only